not taking advice, and our biased reasoning for it. Today we look at why we don't take advice when we need it most. Roll it. Welcome guys to another video where we look at this whole help and asking for help, asking for advice, and why it doesn't work out the best for us all the time. Through these videos, we've just established the whole process of the why and how it's good to ask for help, and this mentality of getting over the fear of asking for help. And as we've gone through this journey, we've looked at many aspects of the help and advice column and really put our mindset in that direction of, you know, how critical it is to have the right people by your side to ask for that help, ask for that advice at the right time. You may be asking yourself, why is it that sometimes we don't take the advice we're given? And I know a lot of you have not taken that advice. That was really good advice, and you thought after, I should have taken that advice. I don't know anybody who hasn't done that, so just saying, leave a comment if that's one of you and tell us how. And the reason behind this is that people use their emotions to guide their decisions. Once emotions are involved, that logic goes out the window. So even if you have somebody who is super intelligent in that area and telling you exactly what to do, the probability of you listening to your emotions first will be a touch higher than the person's intelligence. How does this really look? Well, we have different scenarios, from business to careers to our personal relationships, our personal relationship with ourselves. And the reality is that depending on the situation, emotions are elevated, and at that game time moment, we execute based on what our gut feeling is, what we know is right or wrong. And of course, what we want and what the heart wants is a lot different than what the logic says we should want. Patience goes out the window, and then instead of doing those things we're supposed to be doing, to sticking to our integrity and making sure we achieve the success we want to achieve in that situation, we end up doing what our emotional stability allows us to do at that moment, and based on that level of emotional stability, we will see the success that equates to it. Instead of rambling on this, I'm going to give a couple examples so we can really understand what I'm saying. One is business. When our emotional stability is very low, we're panicking because money's not coming in, we can't figure out what to do, and instead of seeking that advice, getting that advice, implementing that advice, we go back to what we were doing that caused everything because we think we can still do it our way. The ego just does this dance, and bada bing bada boom, the situation gets worse, and you sit there going, I should have taken that advice. This happens often. We'll talk to people, we'll tell them, hey, you should be doing this, just spend some money on this, don't spend it on that. And what ends up happening? Well, they don't take our advice. They think what they were doing is fine, and it will pull them. It pulled them through before. It will pull them through again. But really, it's what brought them to that spot, because times are changing and things are changing, and businesses always change, and we need to change with the times. To put this from a career standpoint, when we advise people on what direction they should go in their career, their gut tells them something else based on their life situation at the moment. And a year later, or 2 years, or 5 years later, they're gonna sit there and go, man, I should have done that while I had that chance, that opportunity at the moment. And the reality is that eventually, you know, they realize, hey, I should have listened and went for it, because I've lost 5 years, 3 years, or 1 year. Our biggest repeat coach call happens when we give somebody advice and they don't go do it. They come back and they go, well, I didn't listen to you, now I want to listen to you. In careers, that occurs and we see them a year later. With relationships, however, we see it within a couple weeks, maybe a month, because they go and they do the thing that they know what to do, that has worked before, but brings them back to that situation they were in the first place. And all they were doing is putting a band-aid the way they were doing it. The solution was based on an emotional heightened state. It wasn't on the logic and on the integrity that they have. And because of this, well, this is why things don't go the way we want them to go. Because instead of exploring all the options, going out and getting that advice based on the options that, you know, will help you in picking the best one that will bring the best opportunity that exists for your situation. Instead, we go with the flow of wherever our emotions are. Whether we ask for advice or we don't, we tend to just put it in the back pocket because we know better, and then the loop starts again. Next time you're in this kind of a situation, really calm yourself down and say to yourself, where is my emotional state at? If it's super heightened, then your goal is to really understand that I need to go get help from somebody who understands this topic, understands me and where I'm at right now, and go ask them about all the options that exist. Write them all down so we start looking at them every time our emotion starts to spike again. And as we review them and we're looking at them because they're written down and not in our heads being altered by the narrative at the moment, our emotional state will start to come to a proper level, and then all of a sudden the best option will be chosen by you instead of by that emotional drive to fix that fear that exists at that moment. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. If you like what you saw, hit like, hit subscribe. Don't forget to watch the rest of the videos in this series, and of course share this with anybody who would find value in it.
Snow, yeah.